The new RAV4 adds standard amenities to the interior that are upgraded for your infotainment screen and over-the-air updates. Ruby Red Pearl is the exterior color that we have here at Stadium Toyota. This is the XLE trim. The LE or base trim will still option LED headlamps, LED daytime runnings. On the lower bit, you'll have matte black that's going to surround more of a dynamic front to the fascia. Over 8 inches of clearance. When you option the TRD off-road, you get nearly 9 inches of clearance available all-wheel drive or your TV all-wheel drive, which is torque vectoring. Because this is the XLE, we're gonna actually have some wheels instead of hubcaps. This is a 17-inch alloy wheel, 5-spoke behind it, 11 inches of a disc reading. The rear at 10.1 inches. Standard McPherson strut front suspension and multi-link rear suspension. Standard with 203 horsepower out of the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. A length at 181.5 inches with a wheelbase at 105.9 inches. Gloss black will touch it up for the roof rails, and your shark fin antenna will be the same color as the body, as well as your side view mirror caps. 184 pound-feet of torque, achieving 27 mpgs for the city, 34 mpgs for the highway, standard LED tail lamps, standard dual exhaust outlets. So keeping the rugged profile, it will sit up a little bit more so in the rear, but it's not necessarily a problem putting goodies in your cargo. With 3,500 pounds of towing, 8-speed automatic transmission, optional power liftgate, privacy cover, 12 volts, a little storage cubby right here, all-weather floor mats. When you remove that, you have your spare tire underneath. You can fold this back, and you can also lower this, in which you'll increase in the depth. 39.2 cubic feet of storage, split fold the rear bench at a 40-60 split, increasing cargo to 75.8 cubic feet with a wide opening, even though you have over 8 inches of clearance. Let's go inside, start up so you can hear that exhaust note. Going inside the RAV4 XLE, headroom starts at 38.6 inches, legroom at 38.5 inches. Standard fabric trim seats, 10-way power seat adjustment because this is XLE trim with optional heated front seats. Standard will be a 6-way manual adjustment for the driver. Soft touch dashboard with the satin aluminum that runs underneath all of the air vents except for in the center, which includes that 8-inch touchscreen with navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot. Put it into reverse, we have trajectory. Click here to cut out the grid and the tow line. When you click here, you can make the image more of a 180. Dual climate control because of the XLE. USB 12-volt area that you can store your phone with the leather around the gear lever. Your driver modes. 2 cup holders and the key fob for the Toyota RAV4. Soft for your arms to rest. Open up inside to 2 USB-C ports. Steering wheel can be optional leather and heated. This is multi-function. Adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. The gauge cluster has a 7-inch TFT display that can go through an array of information for your audio sound system, your trip distance, and to turn on and off any of the settings. The storage tier is going to be on the passenger side, and then they complement the driver's side with another storage tier. The door panel is going to have more of your everyday materials, but it's still going to be soft to touch in this area where you're resting your arms. 1 touch up and down for the front windows, and a medium-sized storage pocket with a beverage holder in the front. 6-speaker audio sound system is standard. JBL will be optional on the TRD. You can have an optional moonroof on the XLE. The back seats of the RAV4, I'm at 41.8 inches of headroom, 38.3 inches of legroom. A nice thing about the RAV4 is you can recline these seats a little bit further, and because it's a cloth and it's soft, it actually makes it a little bit more relaxed for the backseat occupants. Fold this down with your cup holder, soft materials because of the fabric, 2 USB ports, air vents in the center, and storage only behind the passenger seat. The door panel will have the same materials in the front, soft where you rest your arms. You get the satin aluminum that goes around the grab handle and a smaller storage pocket for a beverage and bottle holder. Sitting into the center headroom, no issues, nor is leg space. Feet space is good because the rails for the seats in the front are pushed up, but in shoulder space we'll be sharing, but it's a pretty decent width for this bench in the back, and because you can recline it, it makes it a little bit more comfortable to sit in the center. Base curb weight is under 3,700 pounds. So when you're thinking 203 horsepower, is it going to be sufficient? It really is for an everyday drive and use. 8.1 inches of clearance. When you get the TRD off-road, that's going to increase to 8.6 inches. So visibility is not going to be a problem in either trim you go. Even if you option the LE trim, you'll still have that same clearance. With the XLE, it does add some more amenities though into the interior. It's not going to add anything for sound deadening, but let's see how the performance is. For a value of what you're getting, it's not bad. It's going to feel a little bit of the imperfections in the road, but you're also expecting to feel that with the standard setup and the suspension. With the TRD off-road, it's going to be a little bit more so because you're getting all-terrain tires with an 18-inch wheel. So obviously, as you get up the tier, you will start feeling a little bit more of the imperfections in the road. But for an everyday use, I mean, it definitely ticks the box. The seats are comfy, they're wide enough, and you have enough power seat adjustment for the driver. The passenger side gets manual seat adjustment, and that's standard. Also standard would be manual adjustment if you option anything underneath the XLE. If you want leather, you're going to start having to go up the tier. If you want the upgraded screen that's 12.3, you're going to have to go up the tier, basically going into the limited trim. Optional heated seats when you get into the XLE. So I do like that because now you have some of those luxury amenities at a price point that's hovering in the $30,000. So you're not necessarily breaking the bank too much in the sense that we do still receive dual climate control settings, which you do not receive that underneath the XLE trim. The windscreen is large. There isn't really too many blind spots, but you also have blind spot monitoring. As for the brakes, we're going to check that right now. Speed up just a tad and give her a little. It grabs well. Turn radius at a stop point. You're going to receive about 2 in a part lane, and let's go. It gets a little noisy. 184 pound-feet of torque. It's not going to throw you back, but I also like that it is an 8-speed automatic transmission and we're not in a CVT. Because when you get into a CVT, you do have to also consider the services in which you will be servicing it every 30,000 miles. With an 8-speed automatic transmission, you don't have to do it as frequently, and it's something that can last a little bit longer depending on the way you service and drive the vehicle. What I like about the RAV4 comparing it to the all-new CR-V is it's not as long. The CR-V, they've increased the length to that vehicle, so it's just a lot longer than the prior gen. And yes, you're going to get a little bit more cargo capacity. You're going to get more towing capabilities here. No CVT is in this tier for the XLE or even the LE trim. So that is also something to take in consideration because Honda is pretty much going that route. Interior space, it's a little bit more of an open concept, but even in this, it's still about the same. You can also adjust the rear seats in the Honda as well as here. The difference though with this one is when you're adjusting the back seats, it doesn't just fold all the way back. With the CR-V, every time I've reviewed it, when you're putting the back seats to recline, it goes all the way back and it's hard to kind of put it in a happy medium because the seats are a little bit heavy. A little bit lighter in this. It does have a wide opening for the cargo space, so it ticks the box with that. You will hear the engine note pretty much throughout, and you're going to be hitting about 2 RPMs for a daily use. But for something that is more durable in the sense of towing, a rugged look on the exterior, and you get great MPGs because you're nearly at 30 MPGs with this standard. Adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist, that's just really the cherry on top, because now when you're driving long trips, trips, you can actually relax a little bit more so. I would probably option the heated seats so that way I could recline these just a touch more when I'm going longer distance, feel that heat on me, and I can actually relax for a long journey. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to stop by Stadium Toyota to check out their new and pre-owned selection.